Hey, everybody. It's me, Tristan. This is Heroes and Homebrew. My first members live stream. Don't know how long we'll go for. Certainly not more than an hour, but might not even be that long, depending on how things go. So, I'm working on my dungeon for my Patreons and for my personal use. Um, it's I don't know if it's going to be a mega dungeon or if it's just going to be a dungeon with multiple levels, but I'm working on it, and so that's what we're going to be doing during this here stream. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to open this. There we go. Let's find it here. Oh, there it is. Cool. All right. All right. So, why is it not showing that? Interesting. Okay. I got your. All right. Interesting. Now, this is the first time I've ever streamed with using OBS and stuff, so you might have to bear with me a little bit because I'm not super great at it yet. I record with OBS, but I've never streamed with OBS. Yes, Jonathan, it is a great tool. And it's been working great, except for some reason it's not showing you what I need to show you. Which is what I'm trying to. Oh. There we go. All right, cool. So now you guys should see it. So this is the dungeon so far. It's 52 rooms. It's pretty large. My other thing is, for the life of me, I cannot figure out how to zoom in and out on a Mac with it. That is kind of a frustrating thing. But that's neither here nor there. So, this is the dungeon. This is the one of the entrances. And the other entrance is over here from the surface. It is split into 9 sectors. So basically this area here, rooms I think 46 to 52 is the southwest, and then you have this area which is not southwest, northwest. This is the north, northeast, east, southeast, south, central, west, and southwest. So a couple of interesting things we got here going on is this area, the northeast sector, is completely cut off. Well, not completely cut off. There are ways into it, and the reason I did that is because this is the first level of the dungeon. So it's not supposed to be super deadly. I'm not putting in a bunch of death traps and what have you. So I wanted to keep this area especially dangerous and allow for the players to decide if they go in there. So there's a secret door here, there's a secret door here, and this pathway is broken. So if they figure out a way to cross this, or they find the secret doors, they can decide if they're going in or not. So there's that. And once they're level 2, because this is level 2 or level 3, then they can say, okay, we're going in, and this is where a very large portion of the treasure is going to be as well, because this is full of zombies and ghouls, so all that fun stuff. Let me know if there's something going on with the stream, because like I said, I'm not used to streaming off of OBS. Hopefully it'll get better in the future. So right now, we're going to minimize this. Make that smaller. So this is the document I'm working on. Right now, the working title is The Lost Labyrinth, the Mithril Hall of Dwarven Kings. We got some rumors, we got some hooks, which I'm going to redo. That's why they're highlighted in yellow. The dungeon history, I'm going to change a little bit, probably. It was dug from the underground and dug up and then to the surface, but I'm going to probably change that. A lot of this is stuff that I rolled randomly off the classic dungeon design guide. My son's making a lot of noise. So a lot of that I rolled randomly. Now as I'm building it, I'm going to be changing it probably. Paused a few times, but you had too many tabs open. All right, well, at least it's better now. It probably wasn't your tabs, Jonathan. It was probably my stream and my old Mac that I'm using. So there's been 5 generations of builders. There's been Nagas, neutral elves, orcs, golems, automatons, and lizardmen. So if we go back here, I can show you this section here. The southeast section is largely lizardmen and some of the eastern section. But I have dwarves who are moving in the northern section. So all of this area, 46 to 52, this is almost a completely safe area for players. There's going to be a marketplace in here, and like 52 is basically a large banquet hall for the dwarves. And then 24, 25, 26, this is the beginning of Dwarven Mines. And then down here, the southwest is orcs moving up from the second level. So the reason I did that is now I have orcs moving up from the second level, pushing against the dwarves. The dwarves trying to clear more area out to mine, and the lizard men who are basically fighting against the undead that keep seeping in from this walled off place. That's generally what's going on level 1 right now. Which I think, I've never built a dungeon like this before, and I think as I've been building it, I've found it more and more interesting and more fun to build than I generally do when I build dungeons. Normally I just do like random rooms, I draw it, and then I just plop some traps down and stuff, and it's never really awesome. In your last video about this, you said you're going to color code the different sections. Yes, Jonathan, that's what... what if I can find my worksheet that I had? I do have a worksheet somewhere among many other worksheets. Alright, I can't find it right now. But I do have a worksheet that... I don't have it on this computer either. Basically, I created an Excel spreadsheet of the 9 sectors. And so, let's go open this. I'll show you what I'm doing. So, southeast is going to be largely green. Green means safe. The players can probably rest there a little bit. I wouldn't camp there overnight or for several days, but there's very little chance of them getting like walking into a trap. The possibly monsters that they come across are not, they'll like they may be a challenge, but it's not going to be deadly encounters. So that's green. And then as they explore, if they go to the west or they go to the north, they're going to move into yellow sectors. Yellow sectors are a little more dangerous. Can't really camp there for long periods of time. There might be some traps. The encounters that they have will be a little more challenging. And here in the northeast this is completely red. This is going to be super, well, I mean, not super deadly, but as deadly as could be. So there's ghouls and zombies, something, and probably traps to keep ghouls and zombies from coming into the rest of the dungeon. So that is a very deadly place for the players. This area, the northern sector, that's going to be yellow. It's a little less, it's definitely less dangerous than northeast. However, more deadly than green because there's a giant spider layer here, and this is where the dwarves are digging, so it's a little more dangerous. Northwest, completely green. Players can rest and heal here. They can buy equipment here. It's basically a very, very small contained like mining camp inside the dungeon. Then we go down here. This is going to be yellow. This is more of a contested area between orcs and the dwarves. And down here will probably be red. And then I think the middle here is yellow as well. So I have like 2 red sectors, 3 green, and I think 3 yellow. Maybe 4 yellow, 2 green, and 2 red. I have to find my sheet. It's somewhere around. I'm not sure where it is right now. But that's the gist of it. So those 9 sectors are split up, color-coded as per their danger level. And the way I worked it is so that players, as they explore, will be going naturally from a green sector to a yellow sector. And then they might be in a yellow sector for 2 sectors, and then maybe into a red sector, or maybe they'll pass back into a green sector. That allows them to kind of, as they explore, sort of gauge the danger level. Like, oh, this area was super safe, but now things are getting a little more dangerous. So if we continue on this path, it might get even more deadly. So instead of maybe projecting the danger or like telegraphing the danger of the dungeon, the players are basically experiencing the danger as they play, and the hope is that they will sort of realize it as they play, that the danger level is increasing depending on the sector they're going into. So I'll show you here. So unless otherwise noted, all doors are considered jammed heavy wood doors. Corridors are built of stone. They are cracked with age, and some places are missing chunks of stone. The northwest sector is lit with torches and braziers in many areas. So the northwest sector, would be the dwarven encampment. All other sectors are dark. The air in the dungeon is fetid and stale. Fresh air comes into the dungeon via shafts up to the surface. These shafts are small and covered with old iron grates in the ceiling. So basically like ventilation system. The air is humid and causes unnatural warmth in much of the dungeon other than the northwest sector, which is more well maintained. So that humidity and unnatural warmth is also what's going to cause rations to go bad. Creates bacteria and water that players might find. So they might need a cleric with purify water, things of that nature. So here I can take you through some of the rooms I've already prepared. So if we go this sector, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we see we have southeast sector, rooms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this room 1 is a memorial chamber with the stairs leading up to the surface. It's a 50 by 40 room. So this is basically all of the detail that I'm putting for when I release this for other people to use. I'm going to keep the detail for each room very, very limited so that, you know, referees or DMs can expand on it and use it as they want. But at the same time, there is enough information that they can just pick it up and run with it. Statues of dwarves in armor holding hammers flank the north door. So that's these things. So basically the entire first level of the dungeon was run by dwarves at one time. An altar with candles covered in cobwebs sits in the middle of the room. Drifting plumes of smoke can be seen in the air. And sounds of glass breaking can be heard from room 2 through the door on the east wall. So this is the door on the east wall, and then room 2 is here. So basically the south east sector and the east sector was all basically a dwarven temple. So it was a religious temple. And then the dungeon kind of flows like there's a temple area, there's a work area, there's an actual dungeon / prison kind of area, and there's a tomb. So each sector also has its own kind of theme, or like maybe a couple of sectors will share a theme. So room 2 is a storeroom with potion bottles. It's a 40 by 50 room with shelves filled with mostly empty potion bottles. Shelves are covered in dust and cobwebs. Broken glass is scattered on the floor. A locked chest sits in the corner of the room next to one of the shelves on the south wall. There's 1d4 lizard folk rummaging through the bottles on the shelves, hence the broken glass on the floor. The other interesting thing that, like, when I was doing this, I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool, is so the lizard folk are like rummaging through the shelves and smashing bottles on the floor. That means there's broken glass everywhere. So there's that element in the room for players to use or be aware of. And then there's a treasure in the locked chest, which is not trapped because this is level 1. I don't want everything they come across to be trapped, because I don't want players to get into that sense that, oh, we have to check absolutely everything for traps. I want them to check for traps, but at the same time, I don't want the first level of the dungeon to be like deadly and everything's trapped and like players are just dying left, right, and center. Like, I don't think that's fun. I don't think that's fun for anyone. I like the idea of increasing danger, and this is a green zone, so it wouldn't be trapped. So there's 2,300 silver pieces, 1,000 gold, potion of healing, and 1 bottle of acid. I just threw the acid in there because I was like, why not? Could be interesting for players to deal with. And then they move into room 3 here. This is a conjuring chamber. This is an oddly shaped room. It was once a conjurer's personal chamber. A plague doctor mask gathers dust on a desk in the corner. Why not? So a player can pick up the plague doctor mask if they want, and wear it. There's nothing particular about it. And there's a bronze head covered in cobwebs is on the shelf on the west wall. So the west wall would be here. And the head is a cursed item. So if they're like, oh, bronze head, and they grab the head, if they're like, oh, I can sell this somewhere, once they take possession of it, it's a cursed item. So the cursed head statue. The face of the head is twisted in a look of fear and shock. It is the face of the magic user that once lived in this room 1,000 years ago. Anyone who possesses the statue must make a save versus spell or lose 1d4 from their wisdom score until the curse is lifted or they are able to get rid of the head. Every day, the possessor of the head must make the same saving throw to be able to stop carrying the head. The head also weighs 20 pounds and must be carried on the possessor's person. So, if they fail the saving throw, they lose 1d4 off their wisdom score, which is a pain in the ass until. Yes, Jonathan, wow. So it's a pain in the ass until they manage to get rid of it. But I didn't want it to be permanent. I don't want to punish the players. I want them to become wary of just picking up random stuff. You could use a dispel curse spell on it, probably, and that would be fine. And also, I wanted it to weigh something and have them carry it, because then that forces them to either think about the inventory that they've got on, or they're going to have to hire retainers if they don't already have some. So I'm kind of forcing them to think about encumbrance and things like that. It is kind of it's not a terrible thing to do, but it is kind of mean. But I also think that I think a lot of people playing this would say, "Oh, it's a really weird statue," and just never pick it up. I think it would sit there. Personally, I wouldn't pick it up. Then room 4 is a vestry. So a round pool of purple liquid sits near the west wall of the room. If the liquid is drunk, the drinker must roll save versus poison or take 1d6. So this is the only damage trap that I have in this sector. 1d6 damage, I should put it right. Damage. If purified food and water is cast on the pool, it becomes cool, clean drinking water and will never become stagnant. So, if someone is dumb enough to be like, I'm going to drink this purple liquid in a dungeon, I mean, they have it coming. I feel like they walked into that one. But if they have a cleric who can cast purify food and water, then it becomes pure drinking water that the players can always go back to, and it will always be good drinking water. On the east wall is an altar with strange twisted statues of what looks like humanoids with animal and demon-like features. It's just a weird thing. And room 5 right here is the Hall of Runes. The walls and floor of this room are covered in magical runes that are indecipherable unless Read Magic is cast. The runes are the words for the protection from evil spell. The room is protected from evil creatures and can be a safe place for adventurers to rest. So that's kind of how I'm seeing this. A lot of this dungeon working out is there's going to be a lot of rooms where either it's just something interesting and weird and nothing horrible. Then maybe there's going to be some small trap, or a room that they're completely safe in. So, like I said, they can camp out in here for a day or two, and then heal a little bit, and then go about their business. So right now, that is all. Also, each sector has its own 1d6 wandering monster table. So right now, what I'm working on is this area. So room 6, 7, 33, and 34. So the novitiate, which is it's a room for novice priests. So there's going to be a room for the novice priests of the dwarven religion, or whatever religion these dwarves were practicing. A ceremonial chamber, which is very small. A hall of statuary. It's basically going to be statues. Actually, you know what? I will put that in right now. So let's go down to the Creative Commons commercial license. And let's put in a couple of statues in there. There we go. I'm going to put statues in these alcoves here. There we go. I don't know what my son is. So my son's bedroom is like right next to the office. And like a lot of teenage kids, when he plays online, he yells. So if you can hear him, sorry. If you can't, congrats. Ah, dang it. I put them in the wrong room. All right, let's do this. All right, there we go. This is going to be the hollow statue. So I'm also keeping this, I'm trying to keep the map kind of as old school as I can. Like very little detail on the actual map. Like a lot of the detail is going to be mostly in the document. So, actually, you know what? Let's move these. No. Yeah, it works. Okay, then these guys I can just get rid of. There we go. So there's the hall of statuary, the ceremonial chamber. I think we can put let's put an altar in there. Oh my god! Wow, I'm gonna have to text him and tell him to be quiet, or I'll just tell him that he was on stream. He didn't even know it. All right, so we have an altar there. Novitiate room. Let's see. That's right in here. The novitiate room has simple beds. Let's put an actual number. It has 2 simple beds covered in dust. Bookcases with ancient religious tomes sit on the south wall. Bookcases with ancient religious tomes sit on the south wall. So, something else I've been doing with this, I'm looking over there. I should be looking at the camera. Something else we've been doing with this is to decide what is in each room. Is I've been rolling for it, a la AD&D 1E Dungeons Master's Guide, but I've actually been using. So I copied and pasted this into Word. I've been using the original solo dungeon delving rules from the strategic review number 1. So for each of these rooms, let's see. I need a D. Nope. Where is it? It's a D20, I think. I believe it's a D20. Yeah, here we go. So I just copy and pasted it into Word, then I printed it out as a booklet. All right, so D20s. So let's go with room 6, the novitiate. Is there any treasure, a monster? What's in here? I think this is a yellow area, so 20. So there is treasure in here. So now we can roll on. Let's write this here. Treasure. I'll keep it the same. All right, it's not bold, it's just underlined with a colon. All right, so treasure. Let's roll here. Oh, it's percentile. All right, percentile dice. 4,000 copper pieces per level. This is level 1, so 1,000 CP. Oops, that's 100. 1,000 copper pieces. Does this have the container? does not have the container. Let's see here. I have the book I'm using for this right here. Let's close it. Old Castle, Old Skull. Where's your table of contents? Come on. Really? Oh. So yeah, I've been using the Castle Old Skull Classic Dungeon Design Guide, which I've found super useful. It's made me rethink how I design dungeons, and honestly, it's inspired me quite a bit to like do things differently. And doesn't have. All right, let's go to the treasure then. Where is the treasure book? There we go. Old School Treasure Trove. Old Skull Treasure. So these were on. They might still be on sale. They were on sale on drive-through for like, I think $3 or $4 each, American. And so even Canadian, I think it was. Maybe Canadian was like $4 and then American was like $2, something like that. So I picked up like a bunch of them because ever since I read the Game World Generator guide, I really liked these books. I find them incredibly useful, so I decided why not start using it. What was it? But anyway, all right. Let's say this is in a burlap sack underneath one of the beds. No, not burlap, burlap. So in a burlap sack underneath one of the beds. It's not trapped. It is just maybe one of the novitiates had stored it away, squirreled it away there. Ceremonial chamber. An altar stands on the south wall. Black candles are lit. So that's weird. Are lit, and the room smells of strong incense. There we go. I think people are home. Wednesdays 7 to 8 is supposed to be my time to like not have a lot of people around because my wife has yoga and my daughter's usually out playing with friends and my son's always online doing something. But today seems like everyone's home. They're just banging around. But that's fine. An altar stands on the south wall. Black candles are lit, and the room smells of strong incense. So someone's been in here recently. And let's see. What do we got here? Is there a monster? Is there treasure? Is there a trap? I think there's going to be a trap in the hollow statue area if I don't roll a trap here. 3. It's empty. All right. I'm going to expand on these. Like when I'm not on stream, I'll put a little more into them. But for now, 4 large statues of dwarven kings stand against the walls of the chamber. Statues have been defaced because faced and covered in lizard folk script. I like that. Yeah, I think that's good. script reads. What should the script read? What do you think, Jonathan? What should the script read? Should it be a warning? Hold on. Okay. What? Okay. Sorry. Script reads. That was my son telling me the dinner's here. I'm gonna have to go soon. Beware the rise of the. I want to say reptile god, but it's used so often. Oh. Of the Hydra. So, says, beware the rise of the Hydra. Where's the Hydra? No, I don't know where the Hydra is. I don't know if the Hydra's in the dungeon at all. So, it is what it is. Stickler for grammar. Faced and lizard folk. Alright, let's see. Anything in here? 16. Monster and treasure. Cool. Alright. Type indicating D&D volume 3 for a charge. And let's go with we get the book here. I have a basic fantasy. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, that's where my chart is. I need to grab some treasure from basic fantasy. I think we'll also grab a monster. Now, in this sector, we have orcs, giant spiders, lizard folk. So, think it doesn't have to be one of those. It could be something else. This is definitely guarded treasure. You know what? Let's go to what's back here in the book. Game master information. 12. Do a 12-sided dice and see what basic fantasy gives me. 6. A bandit NPC party. Alright. You know what? Sure. There's going to be a bandit NPC party in there. Not really a monster, but monster. Party of bandits. Oh yeah. Party of bandits. What do we think? 1d4. Let's say. So there's a thing with basic fantasy that I don't really like is it doesn't have human, like NPC creatures in here. At least I can't find them. Bear, bat, basilisk, barklings. Yeah. Alright, so let's say they don't have men in here. Or humans. They have humans? No. Is it under men? I don't think it would be, but you never know. Nope. Negative. Okay, so we're going to say party of 3 bandits and 1 sergeant at arms. That's spelled sergeant wrong. Really? Okay. And 3 bandits. 3 bandits and 1 sergeant at arms. The other thing I'm not doing as well is I'm not, unless it's a creature that I'm creating specifically for this, I'm not doing stat blocks. The reason being is I want it to be sort of general enough that someone can use whatever system they're playing and find those creatures in that system very easily. And let's go treasure. For instance, a lot of the creatures are going to be like, if you're using OD&D or you're using Basic Fantasy or OSE or BX or Labyrinth Lord or AD&D, like you should be able to find all of these creatures in whatever game you're using and easily plug them in. Be like, okay, it's lizard folk. I got lizard folk in my game, or it's orcs or bandits or whatever. They're in everything, so it should be easy enough. Oh yeah. The whole reason I brought this out was for the treasure. This is guarded treasure. So do I have anything here, please? Don't. All right. Let's go with. I don't think they'll have magic items. I don't want to give them that much treasure. Alright, so let's say it's going to be treasure type D. Alright, treasure type D. 30% chance of copper. Nope, no copper. 45% chance of silver. There is silver, so 66. Oh my god. 66. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10, 15, 21, 24. So 2,400 silver. $2,400 silver pieces. Why is that underlined? I thought I clicked on that. Gold. Sorry, electrum, none. 90% chance of gold. So unless I roll really high. Okay, so there's gold. 5d8. Oh my god. Literally using like all of my dice. 1, 2. I know I'm 1, 3, 4, 5. Just 10, 15, 19, 27. So 2,700 gold. It's not a ridiculous amount for bandits to have on them. No platinum. So 30% chance of gems. Nope. Jewelry. Oh, there is jewelry. 1d8. 1d8 pieces of jewelry. 8. So 8 pieces of jewelry. And magic items. 20% chance of any 1d2 plus 1 potions. No. All right, so that's not so bad. You get some treasure in there. Let's see the jewelry here. So I'm just going to lump all the jewelry together. It's all going to be the same type. Let's roll on the percentile. 76. So it's precious. 500 gold each. Oops, that's 4. 500 GP each. Cool. There you go. So maybe I'll flesh out what exactly the bandits are doing in there. Are they lost? Could they be helpful? Are they going to... I mean, what happens is basically it'll come down to a reaction roll, I would assume. And then 34 is the underground vault. So I think this is going to be the ancient dwarven vault. Ancient dwarven vault. Is there gold in here? You know what? I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll my black and white dice, oracle dice. Is the dwarven fortune still in here? Which one's higher? White is yes, black is no. Tie. Oof. I'm gonna roll again. I need a proper answer. Okay, no. So ancient dwarven vault, which now sits empty. Its treasures stolen centuries ago. Let's see here. Where's my classic dungeon design guide? We are going to... I'm just going to roll for a little bit of dungeon dressing here. This would be a temple area. Let's go to the table of contents here. Let's give me some dungeon dressing. This tablet takes a long time to load. I have it on PDF on this computer too, but this computer is old enough that it takes a while for things to work, and I think the stream is sketchy enough as it is without me throwing extra programs and windows being open and stuff. So let's just find something here, and I think this will be it for the evening. Just a little bit of dungeon dressing. I could use the AD&D book too, but I only have that on PDF, so on this computer. Chaotic descriptors, adjectives. No, I don't want the chaotic descriptors. Alright, is this the dressing? Dungeon dressing. Alright, cool. Furnishings and major features. Now, if this was an old vault, wouldn't be a lot, but could have been repurposed by lizard folk, you never know. 47. What do we got here? 47 heraldic shields. Okay, yeah. Shields of the major dwarf clans hang on the walls. So if a player needs a shield, they can certainly take one of those. This is not correct. And like I said, I'm going to expand on these. 8. No, I don't want it to be empty. 7. 14. Monster only. Okay, cool. So I think we're going to use You know what? Giant spiders. Yeah, we're going to go with giant spiders. Let's look at basic fantasy, see what we got here. Giant spiders. Maybe under spider giant. Giant tarantula or giant black widow? Let's go with tarantula. No, black widow. Lower hit dice, easier. Number appearing 1d3 wild, 1d3 layer. All right, so 1. All right. Monster. Giant. Oops. There we go. Giant black widow spider. That's it. I'm going to flesh these out a bit more. The other thing I have not done, I'll save this before I turn off the computer and it all goes to hell. The other thing I haven't done is put anything in the corridors yet. That is something I'm definitely going to do. I'm going to add probably just go with letters instead of numbers because the rooms are numbered. So I'm just going to use letters to add distinct features in the corridors, locations of traps, things of that nature. And that'll be it. I'm just going to keep doing this, and hopefully by the middle of next month, near the end of next month, the end of June, this first level will be complete, and I'll have already started the second level. So that'll be fun. And I think that's it from me tonight. I need to go eat some dinner. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. And until next time, save a seat for me at your table.